It's a military exercise that NATO is keen to promote. More than 30,000 soldiers conducting 10 days of war games in Poland. A show of strength at a tense time as many European countries fear a resurgent Russia.
There should be no doubt in anybody's mind about the commitment of the United States to security and stability in Europe.
We must avoid accidents and incidents spiraling out of control. A new Cold War is in nobody's interest.
Tensions have heightened ever since Russia annexed Crimea in 2014 and backed pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine. Relations are worse than at any time since the end of the Cold War. These exercises are meant to reassure countries worried about a potential Russian attack. But they could also antagonize Moscow. NATO says it doesn't want another Cold War. But these military exercises signal a re-engagement with Europe and might anger Russia. US, British and other troops parachuting into Poland. Just some of the almost 20 NATO countries taking part, and they're ready for a fight. Another plane is coming. The scale of these exercises are huge, and it's clear what message NATO wants to convey, that it will protect Europe.
NATO saw Russian activity on the eastern flank and activity to the south as threats that one needed to respond to. And so in this case, this is assurance measures in support of our partners here on the eastern flank against Russia.
NATO wants the world to know about these exercises. They are just war games, but they simulate a very specific scenario. An enemy attack on a member of the alliance. NATO says the exercises are a defensive response and deny that Russia should be worried.
Russia was our partner for over 20 years. We wanted them to be, and we want them to come back in there, but Russia used force to change the internationally recognized border of a European country. And all 28 nations of NATO said that's unacceptable.
Russia sees things differently, viewing NATO activity in Eastern Europe as a justification to boost its own military forces.
We
will invoke Russia's sovereign right to ensure its security with measures adequate to the current risks.
Moscow is upset about a new US anti-missile defence base made operational in Europe last month and plans to rotate extra NATO soldiers near its border. For its part, NATO has complained about incidents like this. Russian combat jets buzzing a US Navy ship. Will NATO and Russia ever march in step? With military build-ups on both sides, tensions are rising. And while the Cold War was supposed to be over, it no longer seems like it. Duncan Crawford, The Newsmakers, Poland.